Welcome back. The RNC's winter meeting in Salt Lake City wrapped up this weekend, and a group from Milwaukee was there, making their pitch to host the 2024 Republican National Convention. Restaurateur Omar Sheikh tweeted this picture of the delegation, and Visit Milwaukee shared these photos with us of the private event and all the setup that went into Milwaukee's pitch. Milwaukee is one of 4 finalists alongside Nashville, Pittsburgh, and Salt Lake City. Every city except Pittsburgh hosted a reception during the winter meeting. Peggy Williams-Smith, president and CEO of Visit Milwaukee, was on the trip, and she joins us now. So we appreciate you being here. Looking at those pictures, this looked like a fun party. So tell us about it. What happened behind closed doors?
Well, you know, conventions are typically parties, right? That's what they do. So we wanted to bring some of that to them out in Salt Lake City and show how much fun you can have when you book your meeting or convention in Milwaukee.
And what were some of the activities that you had for people to enjoy?
We brought a taste of Milwaukee to them. We highlighted what they would see in Milwaukee through the food that we served, as well as the different areas. So we had a local Harley dealership who provided us with 3 Harley Davidsons with a photo op so that they could take a picture with a Harley. We also had a supper club set up where we had carved prime rib, as well as all of the accompaniments that go with that. We had a beer garden. We highlighted some of the other areas of the city through, we did a food truck, you know, because we have so many food trucks here, where we were serving some street tacos, as well as some margaritas. And then we highlighted Molson Coors beer products in our beer garden.
Do you have any insight into what type of chance Milwaukee has to land this, maybe based on the types of questions they were asking you?
You know, I mean, I feel confident that we are presenting ourselves well. To give a percentage chance, I'm not exactly sure. You know, I was not part of securing the DNC bid, so I don't have an actual feel for how close we are, but I do think that they continue to be interested. I continue to receive questions from the site selection committee and am in regular communication about things that they need to see when they come in for their big site tour.
And speaking of the DNC, I know you want to land that as well. Where are you in the process there?
Well, we haven't received the RFP yet. So at this point, you know, we still have the letter that former mayor, now Ambassador Barrett, sent to the DNC. So I'm assuming when the RFPs come out, we'll be part of that.
Any concerns about fundraising? We know it takes a lot of money.
You know, I think there's always a concern around fundraising in terms of what you can do, but I do know that we have already, we've already garnered some support. Obviously, I can't say who that is at this point, but we have already raised money, a significant amount of money, through our bid committee, the community members who have been making phone calls, and we do have people who have agreed to give based on the fact that we get it.
How much money have you already raised?
It's a moving number. So, you know, I will say that it's significant. It is a significant amount that has been raised so far. But we would have to raise $65 million in order to host the convention.
Okay, and I'm guessing right now there's still nowhere near that. Could you give us a range of where we sit?
You know, we're between 10 and 20 right now.
Okay. And I mean, this is a statewide show, so I want to be sure to talk about the statewide impact of this. You know, people in other parts of the state might say they don't care about Milwaukee and they don't care about Republicans or Democrats. So why should they care about bringing a convention here, especially after the letdown that was the DNC of 2020?
Right. You know, it will be a statewide impact. I mean, if anyone watched the Ryder Cup, they highlighted not just the golf course, they highlighted the entire state. And that won't happen here if we host the RNC or the DNC. And everyone should care what happens here in Milwaukee. Milwaukee is the economic engine for the state. You know, tourism is the 3rd largest part of the Wisconsin's economy, and Milwaukee is the largest contributor to that. And we all know the devastation that Milwaukee has faced and our hospitality and tourism community has faced with the pandemic. And this is a way for us to recover faster and better than what our industry experts are saying won't be a full recovery until 2025. So, you know, I'm hoping that we have the support of the state. We will, of course, obviously have to go beyond Milwaukee County in order to secure the hotel rooms that we would need to provide the right amount of rooms. And, it won't have to go as far as it did before down to, southern or northern Illinois, but it would keeping the money in Wisconsin, but it would definitely affect the region in a big way.
All right, Peggy Williams-Smith, we're wishing you luck. Keep us updated.
Thank you very much.
Up next, new talk of the Brewers Stadium tax and whether it could return.